What's up, everybody? Welcome to round 2 of the store championship tournament. This was held at one of my local game stores that I got the honor of judging, as well as doing this post-game commentary. Both of these players are currently 1-0 in the event. This is table 1, and we've got Enel versus Blackbeard. Blackbeard did end up taking the die roll, allowing them to go second. Going to discard a stage on turn 1 by playing a stage. Going to grab a pretty awesome curve filler. Good old Burgess. Seeing Burgess early is incredibly strong, especially into decks that can't really take care of it. Enel notably losing a very strong card, Rygo or Kingdom Come, depending on if you play on the sim or not. Very good card for Enel, but hurts a lot now that it's gone. Enel no longer has a really efficient way to take care of Blackbeard other than just swinging into it if it's tapped, which often isn't going to happen. But seeing a new card from Enel here, Viola coming down, is a blocker, but also allows them to reorder the life of Blackbeard. So Enel gets a little bid of say and a little bit of future sight into what's on the top of the deck here. Going to swing 6k, and then we're going to get the trigger off of I bid 500 million. Not sure why the opponent likely put the trigger on top there, because it would just clean up the Viola. And based on the opponent's reaction, or on Enel's reaction, maybe they didn't know what the trigger did on that card. Maybe they didn't look at it very fast. They just figured it was a dead event in this matchup, and they wanted it to be the top of life. But good old Blackbeard going to slam down the Burgess here. Enel's going to go up to the 5-Don turn. Funny enough, picked up a Nami, but Burgess cannot be removed by KO effects. Right, so can't get rid of Burgess with that Nami. Honestly, Burgess is pretty hard for Enel to get rid of in general. We're going to see an 8k lead, swing go at lead. Blackbeard's just going to take it. And we're going to see another Viola come down here, opting to just not reorder the life. Because I don't think we got a discard yet. But was there a discard? No, I think there was, actually. Alright, going to Blackbeard's turn here. The opponent has or Blackbeard does have like a marker here, but it looks like he's potentially not using it on the Blackbeard to notify effects. But gonna go ahead and swing 5k at lead. Enel's just gonna opt to take it. Enel again just trying to play the control game here. We're gonna see Lafitte come down. Lafitte's gonna look at the top 5 cards. Gonna add something pretty cool to hand. See a Burgess. Definitely want to add that to hand, as Burgess is gonna be your best way of kind of dealing with Enel, because by the time Enel is going to be able to start playing these big bodies. Those big bodies are not going to have effects, and additionally, those big bodies are going to have a harder time swinging into the big boy here. And looks like Blackbeard's opting not to use leader ability on these early turns. Not really a reason to, since you know that your Burgesses can't really be dealt with at this point, unless Enel drops something like a X-Drake, right? You could go X-Drake into swinging into the Burgess, which is exactly what X-Drake here was for. We're gonna see a 9k go into a 6k here. Notably, only 4 cards in the bin, and we're gonna see the Burgess just drop away, but that's because good old Blackbeard has a Kuzan in hand, which is going to be able to get that back. But X-Drake, really new, awesome 2k option for the Enel deck, just allowing you to rest a body that with what costs greater than your life, I think is something like that, or something like that. But or 4 or less. I think it's a 4 or less. If you have less life, you can rest a 4 or less, I think is what that effect goes. We're going to see a 5k go into the X-Drake. Enel just kind of seeing that how important that X-Drake is, potentially if another Burgess comes down. And so we're going to see that Enel protect X-Drake with all of his resources here, and we're going to see a double Burgess come down here. I was curious if we were going to see the punish. We were going to see like a black hole on the X-Drake once you got all that counter power out of Enel's hand. But instead we're just going to double Burgess and then use leader ability now. Probably going to be using leader ability for the rest of the game here, just to try to stifle off Enel's life gain here. But we see X-Drake again coming down. The whole reason Enel decided to keep X-Drake around was to keep using it again. So all those four cards last turn is going to result in another Jesus Burgess going down, which is pretty awesome. And then we're going to see a Shirahoshi come down. 3-Don left up. Maybe there was a slightly different play that the Enel was thinking about, just because I don't think Enel runs counter events, but honestly, maybe they do. I'm seeing a few new cards, but for the most part, this looks like a pretty standardized Enel shield. Viola is a little bit of a new card, but X-Drake finally going to go here. And then Enel's just going to take a 5k swing, and then we're going to see a good old Tinbeard come down. It is the 10-Don turn. Tinbeard is going to turn off Shirahoshi's effect, and then we're going to get a 7k go at lead, and It also turned off Enel's leader, which means Enel cannot gain a life. So Enel's kind of in this very, very awkward spot where they're stuck at 0 life with no on-play abilities. Could still play out some blockers, but having at least one Burgess stick around as well as a Blackbeard on this next turn is going to be pretty darn hard. Also, looks like Enel's hand is breaking up pretty hard. Enel unfortunately walked themselves into a pretty hard matchup, especially now that Kingdom Come is gone. So I'm sure the Blackbeard player was pretty happy to sit across from an Enel here in round number 2. This game could be over, but we could see maybe just Enel player just blockering up here, but this does look pretty over at this point. Blackbeard just showing its dominance in these control matchups, especially against all these decks that just consistently use on plays. Such an oppressive matchup for the Enel. But we do see 2 Shirahoshis in hand, so Enel player could just drop 2 Shirahoshis, try to go full on blockers, but with 5 attackers on good old Blackbeard's side, this is gonna be tough. Very, very tough. So Enel has to likely clean up 1 character, play down 3 blockers, and just hope he can counter out of one of the hits. But this is going to be really tough for the Enel player, and really there's nowhere to escape that. It looks like we're instead just going to go four blockers here. But I don't know why. I guess with the Blackbeard blocker, there's no reason to swing because you can only swing 9k anyways. Yeah, that's you know. We're delaying the inevitable for a turn. That's what playing 3 blockers does, because yeah, you know, those blockers go down, and then what happens next? You're just faced in another turn where your hand's bricked up, you have no life and nothing to protect you. These blockers are just delaying the inevitable here, and with a Tinbeard here, maybe a little late in hand. The Lafitte was already activated, so Blackbeard is on 9 Dawn, but I don't think they really need it at this point. They do still have the Black Hole in hand, which is going to be able to take out 1 of those, but instead just gonna pitch it. Black Hole would nullify the on KO effect of the Shirahoshi, but I think Blackbeard just realizing if he just does a few big swings, he's just going to get those blockers anyways. And even if he does tap the Blackbeard, you know, what's Enel going to do about it? So we're going to see just a whole bunch of swings here, and then all of the swings met. Just going to play down another Shiraya. Could have played the Shiraya earlier, but I think he was just trying to figure out what Enel was going to be doing, right? If Enel ended up not blocking something, we're going to see a 20k go into Blackbeard here, or not a 20k, a 15k, and we get 2Ks out of hand. What a BM from the Blackbeard player. Just saying, you can't even commit 10 down and take out my Blackbeard. My manga's staying on the board, and that is Blackbeard pretty cleanly cleaning it up against Enel. Kind of what you'd expect with this matchup. Some Enel's decks have gone more aggressive, but this one, more of your standard build, which is pretty good against most of the meta, but Blackbeard, not very good against. Anyways, if you like this type of content, definitely subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one for round 3. Thanks, everybody.